Most people believe money is the most valuable thing they can lose. But wealthy people see the world differently. They understand that every dollar lost can be earned again. A bad investment can recover. A failed business can be rebuilt. Even a financial disaster can eventually be overcome. But time follows a rule that nothing else in life follows. Once it is gone forever. No amount of wealth, power, or influence can buy back a single hour that has already passed. And that realization changes the way successful people think, work, and live. The average person spends years chasing money because money seems to solve life's immediate problems. It pays bills, provides comfort, and creates security. But as people become wealthier, their perspective begins to shift. They realize that money is not actually the rarest resource they possess. Time is. Every person on earth receives the same 24 hours each day, regardless of status, intelligence, or income. The difference lies in how those hours are used. Wealthy individuals become obsessed with this idea because they understand that time is the foundation beneath every achievement they have ever created. Most people are taught to trade time for money. They work a certain number of hours and receive a certain amount of income in return. The relationship seems normal because it is the system most people grow up inside. But wealthy people eventually recognize a hidden limitation within this model. Time is finite. There are only so many hours in a day and only so many years in a lifetime. If income depends entirely on personal labor, there will always be a ceiling. This is why successful people eventually stop asking, "How can I make more money?" and begin asking, "How can I use my time more effectively?" That single question often separates those who accumulate wealth from those who spend their lives chasing it. One of the most misunderstood habits of wealthy people is their willingness to spend money on convenience. Many people look at successful individuals hiring assistants, delegating tasks, or paying others to handle responsibilities and assume it is a luxury. In reality, it is a strategy. Wealthy people are not simply buying services, they are buying back time. They understand that an hour spent on low-value activities is an hour that cannot be invested in opportunities, relationships, creativity, learning, or decision-making. To them, protecting time is often more important than saving money because they know money can be replaced while time cannot. This mindset extends far beyond business. Wealthy people often become extremely selective about where they direct their attention. They understand that attention is one of the most valuable forms of energy a human being possesses. Every conversation, commitment, meeting, and distraction carries a hidden cost. When they say yes to one thing, they are automatically saying no to something else. This awareness causes them to think differently about decisions that most people make without consideration. They recognize that every choice is ultimately an investment of life itself. Human psychology naturally pushes people toward immediate gratification. The brain loves rewards that can be enjoyed right now. Entertainment feels good now. Comfort feels good now. Procrastination feels good now. The problem is that immediate pleasure often steals from future success. Wealthy individuals train themselves to resist this instinct. They become comfortable sacrificing short-term enjoyment for long-term rewards. This ability is not necessarily intelligence. It is discipline. It is the willingness to endure temporary discomfort in exchange for greater freedom later. One reason successful people value time so highly is because they understand the power of compounding. Most people think of compounding only in terms of money, but the same principle applies to nearly every area of life. Knowledge compounds, skills compound, relationships compound, reputation compounds. Small investments of time made consistently over years can produce extraordinary results. Reading for an hour each day may not seem significant today, but over a decade, it can completely transform a person's thinking. Exercising regularly may not create dramatic changes overnight, but years later, the benefits become impossible to ignore. Wealthy people understand that the greatest rewards often come from actions whose results are invisible in the beginning. This long-term perspective affects how successful individuals make decisions. Average people often focus on what will make them feel better this week or this month. Wealthy people tend to focus on what will benefit them years from now. They constantly ask themselves whether a decision is creating future opportunities or stealing future possibilities. This habit changes the way they spend their evenings, their weekends, and even their free time. While others focus on immediate entertainment, they often focus on activities that create future leverage. They understand that today's actions become tomorrow's reality. Another interesting observation is that wealthy people often protect their schedules with incredible intensity. To many people, a calendar is simply a collection of appointments. To successful individuals, a calendar represents life itself. Every block of time reflects priorities. Every commitment reveals values. They understand that if someone constantly says they value growth, but spends most of their time on distractions, their actions reveal the truth. Time exposes reality more honestly than words ever can. This is why successful people pay close attention to where their hours are going. They know that days become weeks, weeks become years, and years eventually become a lifetime. Perhaps the deepest reason wealthy people value time more than money is because they understand the true purpose of wealth. Most people assume the goal is simply to accumulate more money. But many successful individuals discover that money itself is not the destination. Money is a tool. Its greatest value lies in the freedom it can create. It provides choices. It creates flexibility. It allows people to spend more of their lives doing what matters most to them. In many cases, what they are truly seeking is not wealth but control over their time. At the end of life, nobody wishes they had spent more hours worrying about money. Nobody wishes they had attended more unnecessary meetings or wasted more evenings on meaningless distractions. What people remember are experiences, relationships, achievements, and moments that made life meaningful. All of those things require time. Wealthy people understand this truth earlier than most. They realize that money can be recovered, opportunities can return, and mistakes can be corrected. But time continues moving forward whether we pay attention to it or not. That is why rich people value time more than money. They understand that money is a renewable resource, while time is not. Every fortune ever built, every success ever achieved, and every meaningful life ever lived was ultimately created through the intelligent use of time. The wealthiest people in the world may possess different levels of money, influence, and status, but they all share one reality with everyone else. They have only 24 hours in a day. And the moment you begin treating those hours as your most valuable asset, your entire perspective on success begins to change.